Transactions involving condominiums have specific procedures and considerations that do not apply to other types of properties. This video will review some common questions raised by both realtors and members of the public related to condos. If the buyer cancels the agreement, do they need to return the disclosure documents? There is no specific requirement in the Condominium Act for the buyer to return the disclosure documents if they decide to cancel the agreement. Since there are often costs associated with obtaining all the necessary documents from the condominium corporation or property management company, sellers may wish to make copies of all documents in the event the transaction does not close. If it is important to the seller that they get the documents back, wording may also be included in the offer to purchase, stating that the buyer is to return all disclosure documents to the seller if the buyer decides to cancel the agreement. Do condo unit owners need to purchase insurance? Yes, unit owners should have property and liability insurance for their unit and share of the common elements. While the Condominium Act requires condo corporations to maintain certain types of property and liability insurance for the parts of the property they are responsible for maintaining, typically the personal property and liability of the residents are not included. So, if a unit owner's personal items are damaged or stolen, or an accident occurs where the unit owner is found to be responsible, the condo corporation's insurance would likely not apply. Similarly, if the unit owner has made improvements to the unit, these will likely not be covered by the condo corporation's insurance policy. Since not all condo corporations choose the same insurance options, a buyer purchasing a condo should carefully review the condo corporation's insurance coverage, including the amounts of the corporation's deductibles, and then arrange their own insurance accordingly. It is also important to be aware that the insurance requirements for bare land condos are different than for other types of properties. Care must be taken to accurately determine whether a property is considered a bare land condo and what insurance coverage the condo corporation has in that situation. Bare land condo insurance policies may have very limited coverage. What happens if the bylaws have not been stamped or registered with the Land Titles Office? While unregistered documents may be provided as part of the disclosure documents if there is no other option, the buyer may have concerns that the document is invalid or that the information may be unenforceable. It may also call into question the condo corporation's commitment to compliance in general. Since the buyer has the right to cancel during the 7-day cooling-off period for any reason, they may determine that they do not want to risk purchasing a unit without knowing for certain what the rules will be. Alternatively, the buyer may decide that in providing an unregistered document, the seller has not met their disclosure obligations and the transaction cannot proceed until a registered version of the bylaws is provided. Copies of registered condominium documents are readily available from the Land Titles Office at a relatively low cost. If a registered copy of a document cannot be provided, this may be because it was never registered. Unregistered bylaws are not legally in effect, and the lack of registration may point out other difficulties. What are the disclosure requirements when the seller of a condo is representing an estate and never lived in the property? The disclosure requirements do not change if the seller is representing an estate. Since the required disclosure documents are generally obtained from the condo corporation or property management company, or from the Manitoba Land Title System, the seller is able to provide them to a buyer without having lived in the property. A seller representing an estate may have specific concerns about Form 2B, as this form must be completed by the seller directly. However, the information provided on this form is collected from other sources and does not require the seller to have any direct knowledge about the unit in order to complete the form. The MREA Condominium Transaction Guide linked in the description below provides more detailed information about which documents your clients can use to find what they need to complete Form 2B. For more information about transactions involving condominiums, refer to the resources listed in the description.